What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be taking down the Successors mission for the 10th anniversary battle here for the 10th anniversary part 1 stage. So that Earth Protecting Heroes mission was actually a little bit difficult, and I would say that overall the Earth Protecting Heroes team is a little better than the Successors team. Obviously, we have gotten some massive buffs during the 10th anniversary, especially, you know, exciting enough. We're going to get to use the new Super Easy A Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta here for the first time. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how we do here. Obviously, you know, the trickiest part of the entire fight is that final Gogeta fight, the transformed Gogeta all the way at the end of the second battle here. Because he is going to be like guaranteed critting against us, and that's going to be very, very hurtful for a lot of the units that just depend on like defense and stuff. And there aren't a ton of like really solid dodge units to depend on the Successors team as well. So yeah, overall, all of that is just kind of hurt as far as you know, our defensive capabilities go. So basically, what we're going to be fully depending on is damage reduction. And we do have quite a few units on the team that do have a good amount of damage reduction in their kit. Obviously, all 3 units that you see on rotation right now are very, very damage reduction heavy units. So they should be pretty safe in that fight. And then obviously our new like 10th anniversary Gogetas are going to be fine. Now they're going to get access to the Veku active skill that's going to allow us to get that Ghost Usher off on turn 4, I believe. So name of the game, same thing that we did with the Earth Protecting Heroes team, is we're going to try to not get to that Gogeta fight until turn 4. Which did prove a little bit difficult. We kind of had to like nerf ourselves a little bit to not accidentally do too much damage, because as you can see here, these first pools of HP go down very, very quickly while we're dealing with like the tag switch Goku and Vegeta, right? Yeah, we're already like basically 50% through his HP at this point. And then, yeah, now we have 2 10th anniversary LRs here that have type advantage. So that's going to be a little bit precarious. Okay, so I think ideally the best way to set up our rotations is going to be to get the Gogetas on opposite rotations from each other. That way, once we do get to that final Gogeta phase, we will have access to 2 Ghost Usher turns in a row on turn 4 and turn 5. That's probably going to be the best way to set things up for us. And then I guess, like, keeping, you know, because these aren't going to be slot 1 units. I mean, they service decently well as slot 1 units on turn 1, just because they, you know, they have the extra stats and stuff from their entrance animation that doesn't roll off for a couple of turns. And then also turn 1 of these fights are not very scary, right? Especially because they're only going to be getting crit chance and stuff and like their buffs after we attack them anyway. So if there is some slot 1 super or something that happens for this first fight against the Vegito base forms, they're not going to be buffed up offensively, and then for the other fight they're not going to yet have their crit active, right? Alright, so there we go. We are down to Vegito already. So as you can see, yeah, that only took us 2 turns. We're going to need to make sure to avoid doing that on the next fight. It doesn't really matter for this fight because it's kind of okay for us to, you know, for us to launch out like massive amounts of attack immediately to get to this Vegito phase, because it's not really too scary for us to go against this Vegito before we've had access to getting all of our active skills activated and everything. Let's see here. How do we want to do this? I'm trying to think of the best way to keep our rotations, because I really would like to keep the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta on rotation if possible. But I don't know if I should maybe rotate him off, just because they probably, well, the links kind of suck altogether, right? that's really the biggest thing to consider here. This is the way to maximize the links, but then just like the orbs are so bad. Okay, screw it. I guess let's just pull the trigger on this. There's no slot 1 attacks, so that's like the biggest thing that would kind of affect us. And then because this guy does have a 0 cooldown on his super attack, and he can super twice, it's probably better to put the biggest damage reduction unit in slot 1 there, just to make sure that we can tank, right? Okay, let me go ahead and actively trying to pull up the enemy stats on the side here. I always forget to do it before we start the stage. Okay, so there we go. We'll get that pulled up. Okay, sweet. There we go. Yeah, so this guy has a 50% chance to super. And he can do it two times per turn. And there's 0 cooldown for it. So that's pretty massive. He's usually very likely to do his super attacks in slot 1 because of that. Okay, but I guess the one saving grace for that is that it means that if we have a weaker unit that we throw into the 3rd slot, they're much less likely to have to take a super attack, right? Because it's pretty likely for those to happen early on. So I guess as long as we are prioritizing these damage reduction units that we want to keep on rotation, that does end up working out better for both fights. Both, you know, against the Vegito and the Gogeta. Alright. Okay, so we're doing pretty solid on damage. Obviously, we are making this guy stronger and stronger. He's getting 10% attack and 15% defense with every attack that we do to him. And there was quite a few additional attacks that we've launched. Wow, despite all of that, he still managed to save one of his super attacks for the turn until slot 3. Alright, well, we still do have a decent amount of damage reduction. We should be okay here, right? Yeah. Obviously, that hurts us a little bit, but I guess it's nice getting off the Beerus Rage mode here. That is beneficial, right? So now he is going to waste his super attacks so that on the next turn, when we defuse out of the Rage mode, he is not going to be able to super us, so we'll definitely be safe, right? That's pretty good. And then because the Beerus... you know, because the Vegito fight is actually set up like a Super Battle Road style thing where it's a separate fight from the Gogeta, that means we're not really wasting the Beerus Rage mode here, because we'll have access to doing the Beerus Rage mode again on the next fight. Okay, and then that, yeah, now he does it. The very first 2 attacks are supers. That makes perfect sense. That's, that checks out. That's what more we would expect to see. And in fact, any of the times that we had attempted this before, he was doing that more often. I think that super attack against the full power Frieza there was the very first time I saw this Vegito actually do a super in slot 3. So yeah, there is 0 cooldown, but because we're still going to be on turn 4, he can't launch any more supers yet because he's already reached the maximum for the turn. So that is good. All of these extra attacks are raising his stats up, though. He's probably soon going to be at max. It takes 20 attacks in order to get him to the maximum numbers. He can get up to 200% attack and up to 300% defense. So yeah, I can't imagine that we're too far off of that at this point. Let's see. Yeah, any moment now I'm expecting to see that the little attack and defense symbols stop proccing when we attack him because he'll be at maximum. Okay. So now we've got some things to consider here. Actually, do we really? Not really, right? Because we do have access to the Veku active skills, so we might as well just do that and give ourselves free damage, right? Yeah, that's probably going to be smart. And then I think for this opposite rotation, let's think about... We need to start thinking about setting up for that second fight, because again, like I said, we want to try to get through that fight as slow as possible. So those first 2 phases are going to be every turn alternating between int, physical, and then once we transform it'd be AGL. So int and physical means we don't want to have... I guess tech and int are both fine typings to have, as long as we don't have physical characters or STR characters that are going to be doing additional damage. Okay, so then either one of these would be okay. I think I probably want to rotate off the Frieza and keep the Beerus on. Yeah, that's probably going to be fine. Yeah, this will probably be fine, because I was just thinking to not waste the Rage mode too early on. It would be nice to be able to do that against the Gogeta, right? But I think we'll be fine there because we're going to heal with all the same type orbs we select and stuff. And potentially with active skills here before the end of this fight. So, yeah, we'll do this. Alright, so the very first thing that we'll do is we will launch the Veku active skill to give ourselves that free Ghost Usher here. Alright, he is still raising his stats, my goodness. Well, it doesn't matter because he's not going to be attacking us for the next 2 turns, right? Okay, perfect. And then we'll get all of these... Oh, actually, he's probably going to link up better with the Frieza, right? At least having legendary power is going to be helpful. So yeah, we'll do this first. We'll put Beerus in slot 1. And then we can grab all these, and we'll get even more healing with all these int orbs. Perfect. There we go. And we don't have to worry about doing the tag switch or anything like that. Just because obviously, you know, we would want to prioritize that if we were going to have to worry about taking attacks. But since we don't, it's fine to just leave them as is. Okay, and then this should be quite a massive amount of damage here for the turn. Wow, he is still raising his stats. I can't believe that, actually. That's kind of insane to me. Oh, is he finally done? Did he not raise his stats on that last attack? Okay, there we go. So now he's finally maxed out. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the one thing that hurts us is obviously our 2 biggest damage dealers being the, being the 10th anniversary Dokkan Fests have type disadvantage here. So we're not doing quite as much damage with them. Oh my goodness, I kind of forgot we can stun this Vegito. Wow. I completely forgot about that. I also forgot that Goku and Vegeta, or Goku and Frieza had the ability to stun. Okay, well, he's stunned on this turn anyway, so we don't really have to worry about anything now at this point. Okay, and then I think this is going to be the right answer. Let's go ahead and keep our rotations like this. We finally have our Gogetas set up, and then we'll rotate the Vegeta to the other side. Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy for us to avoid doing a super attack with the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta to just, like, avoid doing extra damage. So we can probably keep our rotation set like this and it'll be perfectly fine. For now, though, it doesn't matter. We'll just go ahead and get some attacks off. Obviously, this is another free turn. We, again, don't have to worry about the active skills or transformations or anything like that. Do we want to proc the full heal? Is that going to be wise for us to do? Because the only HP restricted thing on our entire kit is the Beerus Rage Mode, right? Nothing else really matters. Let's see here. The Beerus Rage Mode procs when HP is 60% or less. He can do the Rage Mode. Oh, wait, there's also their passive. When we're below 77%, they're getting the extra damage reduction and stuff. So it's actually good for us to be below 77 before we can do the tag switch. So, yeah, I guess if we can help it, and since we're going to be nerfing ourselves and not selecting a lot of orbs that we should, yeah, let's not do the Gogeta transformation, because if we were to do that, we would get a full heal right now, and we would go back above 77% HP, right? So we're going to try and keep that in mind for the Goku Frieza. For when they come back around onto rotation, we're going to try to make sure that they, that we're below 77% HP. Especially on the off chance that we do get to that Gogeta fight early, that could really hurt us, right? Alright, and then we proc another stun. I kind of completely forgot that we had multiple stunning units on the team here. That definitely helps us out. Okay, so, yeah, we have to try to make this this first phase here has to last 3 turns, as opposed to just 2. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is put the 10th Anniversary Dokkan Fest in slot 1. Yeah, let's do that. For the same reasons that we did last time, where they can survive in slot 1 here. They're not going to be super strong until after he super attacks, which then he'll have more defense and stuff anyway. Though it is going to be guaranteed crits against him, so that will be a little bit scary. Maybe I should rotate him off, because he doesn't have any damage reduction, and once we hit this enemy a single time with a super attack, both this Vegeta and then the tag switch Goku that it goes into have an ability that after you super attack them, they are going to guaranteed crit for the rest of the turn. So if they super attack this guy, he only has defense and guard, right? He doesn't have any damage reduction, so he would actually be susceptible to KO at that point. I guess with that considered, I should rotate him off and rotate off the other one so that we get them on turns 4 and 5 against the Gogeta there. Maybe that's going to be the smartest way to do it. This could be a misplay. We'll try it for now and see if it works out for us. It's possible that this is a blunder, though. We'll see, we'll see. And then, yeah, we just need to make sure to stay below the 77%, so I'm not going to select same type orbs here. We'll try and avoid that at all costs. Okay, and then there we go. Selecting very few orbs is going to be nice as well. But yeah, it would have been nice to put the AGL Gogeta in slot 1, just because he gets the extra attack that he's going to do in slot 2. Slot 2 or 3. So having him in slot 1 would just guarantee that he does less damage for the turn, which obviously would be very helpful for us. Just to make sure that we don't finish off the enemy too quick. But with the Beerus around, that helped us do very little damage there with the type disadvantage and only the one super attack, right? And then hopefully same deal with Frieza. We won't be looking at too many super attacks here. Obviously, he does same deal in slot 1. He would have gotten a guaranteed additional for the next 4 turns. So, yeah, that would have been yet another super attack that he's launching out. And then, obviously, because we're against a pure Saiyan, he's going insane here, right? With all the guaranteed crits. Okay, but there we go. Plenty of damage reduction, keeping him safe against these critical hit attacks. Oh, man, it's looking a little bit scary. I don't know if we're going to be able to, if we're going to be able to hold out. Yeah, his HP is already looking pretty low. Okay, there we go. That was a bit of a not a great turn from Gogeta. That's what we wanted to see for sure, right? Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Yeah, I guess, I mean, at this point, because of setting up the Ghost Usher things, we have to put this Gogeta in slot 3. We have to. Like, we don't really have a choice there. Now it's just a bit of a scary thing of, like, where the super attack is going to be, right? Because this first phase has a cooldown of 8 on the super attack, and they can only do it once per turn. So it's likely that that super attack won't come out until the 3rd slot, which could be really, really scary here, right? We know Goku Frieza is going to be fine because we're below 77% HP. Oh, and actually at this point, what we can do... Well, I mean, we don't really have a choice anyway if we're going to put him in slot 1. Maybe I should put him slot 2. But yeah, I was just thinking as far as the amount of healing we're going to be able to get for the turn. We are below... We are below 60% right now, though. So as long as we can survive the turn, all we're going to have to do here is get lucky with where the super attack placement is. And then we'll be below 60%. So Beerus is going to go Rage Mode on the next turn. Which I guess is going to be good for potentially a couple of reasons, right? So, oh, I actually don't want to select all those, right? Because we want to try not to KO here. I probably shouldn't have selected all those with Goku Frieza either, but that's fine. No worries. We'll just get the one orb. Yeah, I'm a little bit scared about doing this. I'm a little bit scared about it. We'll see, we'll see. Just because obviously when he does less attacks, I mean, it doesn't matter anyway, because all he's getting from the extra attacks is more defense, and that doesn't do anything against these crits anyway. So he's either gonna live or he's not. Like there's no changing any of that. So yeah, we'll see where he ends up launching that super attack out. Oh, wait, was that a super attack against us? I think it was. I thought that was our super attack, but yeah. He already launched his super, so then we should be fine to live for the turn. Dang it, I definitely blundered there. I should not have selected all of those orbs with them, because that fully activated his passive, and we did way too much damage. So now we are actually going to go to the Gogeta phase on turn 3, which is really, really not ideal here. Just because we're not going to have access to any of the active skills yet. But We are still below that 60%, so we are going to get the Beerus Rage Mode. Now, here's the thing. So this Gogeta has 100% chance to crit right at the start here, and then with each super attack received, he's getting a subtraction of 10% off of that critical hit chance. So that's good that we get the Rage Mode to get some additional super attacks in here, and then obviously with the way that Beerus's Rage Mode is set up, every single attack that he does is a super attack, no matter what. He only needs one key in order to launch a super. So that's going to be slightly helpful. And then the type advantage is going to help too, because we're going to be able to do a good bit of damage in here. Shoot. I'm just trying to think of making the board look pretty for the next turn. I guess this will work out. Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, I like the way those AGL orbs drops. That was good. That was good. Okay, so one thing I was going to say is a bad thing, but now is not a bad thing, is the fact that he has a cooldown of 10 for his super attack. So it was very, very possible that even throughout this entire Rage Mode, he didn't launch a super attack, right? Which would have been really bad for us, because then once we defuse out of the Rage Mode, he would have still had that in the chamber, ready to go. But yeah, he launched it right away, so now we know that once we defuse out of the Rage Mode, we're not going to have to worry about a super attack for that turn. So though he will still have a good chance to crit against us, we're going to be a little bit safer, because it's only going to be normal attacks that we're taking, right? Alright, so this is what, super attack 3, so he should be down to 70% chance to crit, and then now down to 60% chance to crit. Alright, perfect. Okay, oh! That's hilarious. That's actually really funny, because I kind of completely forgot about that portion of this card. He's so good in base that you never even really worry about the giant form, but look at that, because our HP is under 40%, now we can just launch the, the giant form transformation for Vegeta, which we probably should do, right? Probably. It's going to be hard for us to stay below 40%, so we might as well, because, okay, so the reason why it would be a complete waste to do it right now is that we already know on this turn, he has no super attack he can do. Whereas if we were to wait until turn 5, then he might have a super attack available again. Oh, no. On turn 5, we're going to get the next Gogeta Ghost Usher, because we're going to get the first Ghost Usher on this next turn, and then on turn 5 we get the other one. So yeah, we should launch this now. But yeah, then potentially it would only be all the way until like turn 7 that we would actually get benefit out of using this Rage Mode again to delete the enemy super, right? So yeah, for now, I guess we might as well take advantage of this giant transformation to get off a couple more super attacks and lower his crit chance, right? And then obviously we're doing some more damage to him as well. Okay, yeah, so we'll grab these orbs first. All of those for him. And then, ugh, kind of ugly, but that's fine. I guess we can go with that. Okay, so he's still critting on, like, a lot of the attacks. He was at a 60% chance, so now he should be down to 50% here. It's wild to me that he still crits as much as he does, even with the subtraction. I wonder if that's a within the turn ability. Oh, there we go. He finally didn't crit. So then now he should be down to 40%. Okay, there we go. And then, yeah, with this giant transformation, we actually get multiple turns of it. So maybe we will fully deplete that crit chance before all is said and done here. Let's see. So yeah, he's down to, what did we say, 40% at this point, I believe. Yeah, I think it's really possible that we could completely remove his crit chance at this point. Unless it is an ability that, you know, resets every turn. I'm not sure. So that should be 30%. I mean, yeah, he's not really critting much anymore. Okay. And then now he should be down to 20%. Wow, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Alright, and then now he's down to 10% chance to crit. Wow, we kind of completely dogged him. That's insane. Beerus and Vegeta, totally MVPs on this stage right now. Okay. Now, let me just double check really quick, because one thing they like to do with kits that I can't remember if they did with him is, like, because he has the giant form that procs at 40%, sometimes they'll change it up where, like, he'll lose stuff in his passive at the same point. So let me just make sure that he's still the godly, you know, defensive beast that he is. So yeah, the 20% damage reduction as the first attacker in the turn, he gets the more... Yeah, okay. So he's still going to be insane. Alright, and then, oh, we also have Frieza that's going to be looking quite good at this point as well. With 700k defense. So he's got the 20% damage reduction, the extra 30% damage reduction as the first attacker in the turn. And then for every attack received, getting more. Yeah, so he'll be at a really good damage reduction level too. But unfortunately, they both want to be in slot 1 is the real problem, right? Okay. And he's not guarding, whereas the other guy is. I mean, it's all normal attacks anyway, so we'll probably be perfectly fine here. Let's go ahead and put Frieza slot 1. Yeah, and then we can get the 18k super, and then that way we can get a little bit of healing in here with these same type orbs. Who's got more defense? Oh, Beerus actually has more defense. So maybe we should just do this for Vegeta, and then give all that healing to Beerus. And then that way, on the off chance that he survives the turn, we'll have a little bit more HP on the next rotation, which, again, totally not going to matter. Because we do have the Ghost Usher active skill that we're going to proc, and then it looks like if this turn is not the final turn of the fight, the next turn definitely will be, right? So yeah, wow, I guess with some of the utility on these kits, the Successors team ended up looking a little bit better than the Earth Protecting Heroes team. I would say this was a little easier to do with the Successors team, right? That's kinda nutty, Yeah, I guess, I mean, one of the biggest problems we had with the Earth Protecting Heroes team was that turn 4 was the first point where any units got anything special out of their kit, right? Because we had all of our transformations and active skills were going to be proccing on turn 4 and turn 5 for every single unit on the team. And then I guess the thing that I didn't really consider with this team was the fact that we could depend on the Beerus Rage mode and the Vegeta transformation, which normally are things you can't really depend on because they're HP restricted, and you can't really, it's very, very hard, especially in today's like modern content with such hard hitting bosses, to force yourself to get to a specific point of HP. Usually you want to try and protect yourself as much as possible, you know, so that you don't just get one-shot KO'd with a super attack or something. So we did get pretty lucky being able to get to those low HP numbers, and then that ended up working out for us. Alright, and then here we go. We will go ahead and launch our Deku active. Oh, that active just straight up finished it. That's hilarious. We didn't even need the Ghost Usher from it. Just the active skill enough was or the active skill alone was enough to finish it. Okay, well, there we go. Kind of easy peasy, honestly, if you ask me. That really wasn't too difficult at all. Removing that crit chance is the biggest thing, though. Had he still had, like, let's see, his HP pool is 200 million. So had he had, like, a 400 million HP pool and we still had another 3 or 4 turns of attacks to do against him, I mean, then, like, we still would have been fine because we had already removed the crit chance from him completely by that point, right? So this guy really only looks super, super strong right at the beginning of the fight. Okay, but there we go. We managed to claim the last of the hidden potential orbs here, or the equipment, rather. So let's go ahead and apply these to our new 10th anniversary LRs. Alright, so for the Vegito, we have a level 9 defense here. The bronze slot gives us the amazing level 6 defense and level 6 dodge, and then the orb that we just earned for that last mission here is going to be the dual attack and crit. So I can't apply the gold skill orb because we only have this guy at 55%, so it'd just be the lower 2. I kind of really like a full dodge build on this character, though, especially because of how, like, not slot 1 viable he is. Let's see, maybe the extra defense, because 900 points of defense is kind of a lot. Maybe it would be smart to put that on there. Let's see what we've got on him in-game here. So we have a level 5 defense on the silver slot. We're definitely going to update that because this is going to be a level 6 defense, and then obviously gives us a bunch of or level 6 dodge and a bunch of defense as well. So yeah, we'll go ahead and apply that to him. That is just an obvious buff. And then for this one, we're going to have to decide whether it's worthwhile to get rid of those 2 points of dodge and the 1 point of additional in order to get the, you know, the extra defense on there. Now, that's only going to add a 2% chance for him to additional attack, but the fact that he doesn't have any additional in his hidden potential system aside from that just does suck a little bit, but it's next, like, near never that's gonna proc anyway because it's such a low percentage, right? And I guess these are EX skill orbs, so I can kind of switch them back and forth freely. Let's just go ahead and put the defense on him for now. I think maybe the extra defense buff is gonna be a good thing for him in those first couple of turns before you're able to tag switch him and stuff. Maybe that will end up working out well for him. But the thing is, the really funny thing is, they have been adding so many of these critical hit bosses, and so I feel like that's why they don't really mind giving us these like level 9 defense orbs. I feel like it's not going to be too long before we start seeing level 15 defense orbs, because they're not going to care what your defense numbers are, because they're going to just be able to completely delete defense by adding crit bosses anyway, right? Which is why dodging, to me, is such a better mechanic than having just focusing on defense, right? Or additional attacks, because a lot of the times, like, yeah, additional attacks do give you extra damage output, which helps you finish the fights quicker, so that is something to note. But a lot of the times you want to prioritize additional attacks because if you know, it's very, very common for units to have super attack effects where they're raising their defense on super. So if you do more super attacks, you get more defense. But again, that's not going to matter against critical hitting bosses. So yeah, I guess until we find a unit that gets dodge chance per super attack performed, then actually getting off additionals is not going to be that relevant for him, right? Okay, which I guess that is a mechanic that we do have in game, but it's not a super attack effect. It's just a passive skill mechanic, unlike the STR 17 and 17 that transform into Super 17. They have that type of effect where each attack performed gives them more dodge chance, right? Okay, and then let's go ahead and take a look at the equips for Gogeta here. Alright, so he doesn't have quite exactly the same thing. They did something a little bit different for him. They gave him additional and attack for that gold slot, which is just so weird. I don't know why they decided to change those up. I mean, I guess they just decided that... you know what it is? It's because he's got the attacks effective against all types, and then the really, really easy crits once he's in his final form. So they didn't bother giving him the extra crit there because it would have been redundant. So instead they gave him a little bit of extra attack. I guess that makes sense. Like overall, this is a better orb for him than the just level 6 extra crit it would be here, right? Okay, but then yeah, he has the same 2 orbs here. So for him, we probably will just go ahead and apply both of these. He does have like massive amounts of defense in base. And then yeah, same deal probably for that bronze slot. I'm not going to need to worry about like extra dodge or anything for him. So, alright, well yeah, that's what, I mean, both of the orbs that he's got on him right now, this is just going to be a straight up buff, right? We're just adding more defense to the bronze slot, and then we're just going to be adding more dodge and a lot more defense to that silver slot. So, there we go. Now he is nice and buffed up, and then same deal, I'm not able to apply that gold skill orb because he's only at 55%, so we'll just have to hang on to that for some point in the future. Alright, well, there we go. That is going to finish it up for this one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!